Welcome to episode 25 of Star Wars Culture Live, a fairly new podcast focusing on Star Wars excitement and connection, your escape pod for hyperspace buzz and fandom fixes. As always, I am Ian, this is Marty, and this is where the fun begins. Instead of the negativity you often find on the Star Wars side of the internet, we want to talk about the things we love about Star Wars, how it enriches our lives, the community, the culture, the fans, the media, anything at all. So, as always, throughout the show, if you have anything for us, reactions, questions, requests, suggestions for future segments, anything at all, throw them up in the comments and we will see what we can do. And don't forget to check us out on all the socials. We are at SW Culture Live almost everywhere. We're just on the Culture Slate main page on Facebook. And now we're also streaming to episode 9 news on Facebook, but everywhere else at SW Culture Live. And we are also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, places. I think we're behind a few episodes. We got to get the audio up there, but that's a whole thing, and we're working on it. But as usual, we are going to start with some quick fun facts about each host to let you get to know us a little bit better. So, Marty, fun fact, take it away.
All right, so I went to a comic convention over the weekend.
Yes.
And Jason Isaacs, the Inquisitor from Star Wars Rebels, signed this.
Yes.
Now,
you met him?
Unfortunately, I didn't. I got to see him from a distance. I had to go stand in line for somebody else, the man called Sting from wrestling.
Fair.
He was in. His line was very long. My wife stood in Jason Isaacs' line, got me this autograph, while she got her an autograph as well of him as Captain Hook from Peter Pan. Nice. But she said he was really nice, really cool, and maybe next convention I'll get to go see him myself. But yes. It's one of my new autographs to this collection. I also bought a couple of action figures.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm talking about the one on the right, but my right, your left. But the other one's good too, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I overpaid him. I actually looked him up afterwards on Amazon. By about half of what I paid for him is on Amazon.
Oh no, con price. Okay.
Yeah. And then
you got excited. It happens.
I did. I saw Yord and I was like, I gotta have him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's great.
And then I got a loot box.
Ooh, yeah.
One of those mystery boxes.
Anything ridiculously awesome in that one?
One thing. And if I can find it. This case that has this wallet.
Ooh.
So it's these 3 Mandalorians right there.
Mando helmets on there, yeah.
But then when you take them out of the wallet, we'll take out and put it to the back of the wallet, you got the rest of the helmets.
Yes. Okay. So I feel like I've seen that pattern. There's a company called Results that makes shirts, and I feel like I've seen that same pattern on their one of their like button down shirts, and I want it so bad, but I'm not willing to spend $80 on a shirt right now.
Yeah. So I told myself this was a one and done. The rest of it
was loot box. Why not?
This one. I got dish towels, okay? One of the things that's mystery in here is dish towels.
Yeah. I mean
they're
I'm sorry,
cute, but
I know. Are you complaining about dish? I mean, that's some quality like houseware.
I mean, yeah, but for a loot box, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hit and miss.
The glasses are pretty neat though.
Yes, you should. I got one right here. Not the same one, but it's got Grogu's on it. It's got little.
But they had like four different kinds. They had the Mandalorian loot crate. They had the original trilogy. They had a Chewbacca one, and then they had an Ahsoka one. I went with Mandalorian.
I mean, you made the right choice. I don't know if I like Chewie enough. I love Chewie. I don't know if I like him enough to get a whole Chewie loot box.
Right?
Ahsoka, you could get some pretty cool stuff, I think. But Chewie's got a little bit of a narrower vibe there, I think, aesthetically. Nice. So that con was awesome. I'm glad you got to see or got to get the autograph at least. You'll see him next time. I have a con coming up. I don't want to say I have a con coming up. I'm sending somebody a thing to get signed because I can't make it to the con. I'm traveling for work. But I'm sending somebody a thing to get signed by a guy, and I don't want to say who it is because I don't want to jinx it just in case like it doesn't work out. Because it's not one of those like pay to see him type deals. But it's just sometimes the schedules don't work out and he's not there. Well, like when you're, I don't know, just in case something happens, I don't want to say who it is yet. But if it happens, that'll totally be my fun fact. My fun fact today is I sometimes I do little for my own social media, nerdiest stepdad, right there, right. What's happening? Right there, nerdy stepdad. I do collabs with lightsaber companies sometimes, and I just did one to get this guy. It's the where are the kids? It's the Youngling Slayer 9000. But it's called it's Anakin's from episode 3, and it's one I've always wanted because it's also kind of Rey's, and I like how it spans all of those trilogies. I love that. And so that's the one that's currently sitting right under my desk. I pulled out this, but we're talking about Ahsoka today. If you haven't read the thing, so I pulled out this bad boy that I forgot I had up in my closet. Got Phoenix Cell jersey with some Tano on the back, and the last but not least, I'm not undoing all the buttons, but I have a shirt under here that says "Music by John Williams," and it just has it like on. Like in the font that you see at the end of the Star Wars movies, it's like clearly a Star Wars reference. And my wife just did not get it. I guess she's not as like in tune to the exact font. You know, the blue font where it says, all the Star Wars credits. Like Star Wars fans get it, and she was like, "I don't get it. Like I like John Williams too. What's that shirt?" I was like, "Ugh." My friends got it though, so it's okay. You would get it. So yeah, that was it. 3 mini facts for me.
Nice.
So let's move on to some little HoloNet news here. I'm gonna do this. So as always, we like to get our news from Star Wars Underworld, their Instagram and their stuff, their podcast. They talk about a lot of good stuff, and they just have it like laid all out here on their Instagram page. So that's where I like to go first to check out news, at least the headlines, and I can dig deeper if I want. A couple of Tony Gilroy updates here with for Andor season 2. He had an interview with Collider where he said he wanted to eventually release the scripts for Andor, but he's now telling them that he's not going to do it because of AI. Which I mean, yeah, I get that. AI is getting everywhere and into everything and ruining all kinds of stuff lately, especially in the art world. So that's I can't really fault him for that. In the same interview, somebody asked about the Gorman massacre, and he said that it will fit. Here's the quote: "It's a very significant part of our show that can do a lot of different things for us. Quite honestly, it's very expensive to build, so we really want to use it as much as possible so it carries over 5 different episodes. I'm really confident that the really deep, passionate Star Wars community will appreciate how we straightened out that story." So for a person who, for whatever reason, didn't read or watch or whatever the Gorman massacre was in. Can you illuminate me? What exactly is the background of the Gorman massacre?
All right, so the Gorman massacre actually started in Legends canon. They said it at a different time instead of 2 BBY, which this was to take place in. It was like 18 BBY. In the Legends material, it involved a peaceful protest on the planet Gorman, and then
Which I guess this is what we're seeing here. Maybe
I believe this is Gorman here. They will change it from what I'm understanding. In Legends, it dealt with literally. It was called a massacre because Grand Moff Tarkin landed his ship on a crowd of protesters, killing a lot of people.
that'll. Yeah, that's not cool. That's not.
Yeah,
That's
and
not okay.
yeah, it was actually in the excuse me, in the Rebel Alliance source book from 1990, so like a tabletop RPG.
Wow.
And then it got into canon in the 2016 tabletop RPG from Fantasy Flight Games called Forged in Battle, where it talks about it. But it basically means for this one, and it'll definitely go into it at Andor a little bit more, is basically a peaceful protest takes a turn for the worse when the Imperial Army basically slaughters everybody.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. That's dark. So yeah, I feel like you could use that. You could use an event like that a lot of different ways. I'm here as the Galactic Empire's ears since I am off duty. Also want to have fun. We will tell no one. So a massive event like that, I feel like they could use that just like they use the protests and the things on Ferrix, like, or any horrible event that the Empire does. The rebellion could use, like, you could obviously, the writers of the show could use that to make, like, who knows which of the main characters are involved in this event, but also politically, like, I wonder if a massacre like that is what makes Mon Mothma finally, like, peace out, like, I can't do this double life anymore.
It is actually it was actually brought up in Rebels, like, because of this event. She basically goes to the Senate, tells Palpatine off, and then has to be smuggled out by Ghost Crew.
Yeah, see, that's where she messed up. Okay, I did not remember that episode. I need to watch Rebels again, I guess. Oh no, that's the worst thing ever. I remember them smuggling her at some point, but I definitely didn't remember that it was specifically the Gorman massacre. That's crazy. I didn't know that they mentioned it by name.
Yeah, it was. I think I still have it pulled up. Nope, don't have it pulled up. But it was like season. I think it was like season 4. No,
Yeah,
it had to be 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Yeah, after the Vader stuff. I would think. Okay, so all right. Well, then, yeah, there's a pretty solid plot point. We get to see all that go down. I guess it maybe happens after she's dancing at that party that we saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So let me say this: Mon Mothma is smart as hell. Obviously, like, she's extremely intelligent woman. Imperial Activity says, I believe that episode title is Secret Cargo.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do remember the title name. Yeah,
she is the Secret Cargo. She is obviously an extremely intelligent woman. Why would you go back to the Senate before you peace out? Why would you go right into the belly of the beast and then yell about stuff so that you have to be smuggled out? Why don't you get out safe and then send a message yelling about stuff when when they can't get you?
I think maybe she is pretty smart, but maybe this one she played from the heart, and maybe
Instead
to
of the
gain a little
head.
bit more loyal, like rebel sympathizers involved.
Yeah, I guess to send a message, maybe. You can't send a message on the HoloNet? Like, come on. You being dead helps no one.
I guess. Or maybe it was like
Whatever.
building
Tell
up
that.
inside. Who knows? Maybe it was
You know
building up
what?
inside in a random Senate
Yeah.
meeting. She's like, "Oh yeah, by the way."
Yeah. Huh. All right. Maybe, you know what? I'm open to being sold. So sell me on it. Andor season 2. Make me believe that happened. I'm open to it. Anyway, yeah, Gorman Massacre. I can't. It's weird to say I'm looking forward to a massacre, but it's going to be a really interesting plot point. I'm not looking forward to. You know what I mean. All right. Entire first season of Andor is now streaming on Hulu. And the first 3 episodes of season 1 are also available to watch for free on the Disney Plus YouTube channel, which I did see when I was scanning YouTube for Miss Rachel videos earlier today. And then also on YouTube, I believe tomorrow at noon Pacific. Oh God, what is that? Like 9 a.m.? No.
2 p.m.
Oh,
No,
sorry. Yeah. I went
3,
the wrong way. No, you're right. I went the wrong way. So it's 3 p.m. Eastern, 2
3
p.m.
p.m. Eastern.
Central.
Yeah.
All right. 1 p.m. Mountain. All right. Good. I went the wrong way. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, there he is. 3 p.m. EST. Good. All right. 3 p.m. I can probably see that. Tony Gilroy and the cast of Andor will be participating in a live Q&A discussing the series' first season this Thursday, March 13th at 12 p.m. Pacific on Disney Plus, Hulu, and Star Wars YouTube channels. So that's really cool. If it was about season 2, I probably wouldn't do it. I don't like watching those like behind the scenes things until after I've seen it, but I've seen season 1 like recently, so that could be really fun. And then last but not least, I wanted to point out the new lightsaber that is coming to Disney, which is not last yet, but Mara Jade, limited edition Mara Jade Legacy lightsaber is headed to the Disney Store and Disney Parks. That looks awesome. Very a nod to Legends here with Mara Jade. I didn't even know that there was art enough to like depict like a specific lightsaber hilt, you know. I don't read enough comics. And the last but not least, Smuggler's Run, also at the Disney parks, is getting new scenes from that will tie into the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is pretty cool. And they're gonna Jon Favreau discussed it. He said, this isn't going to retell what happens in the movie. It's more like you're participating in something that's happening just off camera from what you see in the film. Awesome. I'm totally down for that. That's great.
So would that mean canonically the Millennium Falcon is in the movie?
It sounds like that might be a thing that's happening. Or like, you know how like after episode 3 came out, turns out all the stuff with Ahsoka was happening like at the same time and you just didn't know at the time. Maybe it's kind of like that where like Mando and Grogu, like, I mean, who has the Falcon right now? Like Han and Chewie still have it like this soon after Return of the Jedi, right?
I think so. Either that or it slipped off into Hondo's hands.
Oh God. Yeah, so that would be super fun actually if it's like if Hondo is like, yeah. So maybe, yeah, I think it might not be in the film, but it might be just like, oh, it turns out the Falcon was also on this planet at the same time, like while this big event is happening, like whatever is happening in. I don't know if Embo is supposed to be a big factor. That would totally make sense that Hondo would be if they're doing smuggler piratey things.
Yeah, maybe.
Cool. So that's all I got for news. Did we cover it all?
I think so. Did you want to talk about the little droid guys? I can't remember if that's what you wanted.
Oh
No.
no, they're why not? They're here. There's little droid guys. The BDX droids that were previously seen wandering around Galaxy's Edge are now confirmed to appear in The Mandalorian and Grogu. So they will be there, and that's the same type of droid that's in that BD1 from Jedi Survivor, right? Or Jedi Fallen Order. Both.
Yeah, they're the same. They're supposed to be the same, but I'm trying to imagine that droid on Cal's shoulder, like
Yeah, these look a little
boxy in the body.
Yeah, they're bigger. They're a little beefier. It says
That's probably
Hondo
the
would have
X in it.
Falcon in between episodes 8 and 9. Oh, really? Of wait, episodes 8 and 9, like of what? Not the movies, right? Anyway, yeah, that's the news. Why don't we move on to Marty's segment on this day in Star Wars history.
All right, today's actually kind of cool.
Oh wait, hold on. He commented back. Wait, hold on. So between the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, Hondo had the Falcon. Didn't Chewie have the Falcon?
Yeah, I thought Chewie and Rey
that whole time.
Maybe
yeah,
like Chewie and Poe.
Yeah, I thought the Falcon was safe on that jungle planet in between then. Oh well, we can look later. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. The on this sorry, your segment is on this day in Star Wars history. Give it to us.
All right, so today's actually kind of cool. Today in the year 2002, Drew Struzan's Attack of the Clones release poster is unveiled in movie theaters and online.
Interesting. I hope people saw this poster and were like, "Who's that guy?"
Right?
Because all we saw was like the kid, Jake Lloyd, and then all of a sudden there's this like really tall guy that we don't know why he's there.
And then you got Jango Fett. I'm sure people are like, "Wait, Boba Fett?"
Yep. Mando, look at him, he's so shiny.
So shiny. But yeah, I think this was actually one of my favorite posters.
Oops. Click the wrong button. Yeah, actually I want to see the whole thing. Yeah, maybe it's just the nostalgia speaking to me, but I remember this was like my peak like excitement about Star Wars, because after episode 1 came out, that's when I got that's when I like became my fully fledged Star Wars nerd self. So this was the first movie that came out where I was like fully self-aware to be like, I'm a Star Wars nerd. A Star Wars movie is coming out in theaters. I'm gonna go see it like 6 times. And we did, because movies were like $6. So that was great.
That's pretty cool. I think, like you said, with this, it's also there's a nostalgia feeling, but at the same time, this is my favorite Star Wars movie, so I think I have just an affinity for it.
Interesting. I forgot about that. That's I like it. I definitely don't hate it, but it's definitely not my favorite. I forgot.
Right.
Yeah. I think you're zigging when most people are zagging there, I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
Standing out. Okay, he says Chewie did have it, but he loaned it to Hondo. So Hondo would have it way back there. So he wouldn't have it yet after. So if this is Mando Grogu verse, then I feel like it would just still be in the hands of Han and Chewie, or the rebels. So I wonder who you're interacting with at that Smuggler's Run there.
I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm not gonna not go. All right, now time for my segment, Dad Joke of the Week. And speaking of Hondo and other piratey characters, why are smugglers good at telling jokes? Much like myself on this podcast, it's all about the delivery. It was a good delivery, right? I think. I hope. I was twisting my body weird, so it looked kind of less different, probably, or less natural. but I can't figure out I got a new gaming chair and I can't figure out a good height when I'm doing different things. There's like an optimum gaming height, and then there's an optimal like just normal work height, and then there's an optimal like podcasting height. And I can't freaking figure it out. Anyway, let's move into the meat of our episode, which is we're going to discuss 2 what if scenarios related to Ahsoka. And the first one is, what if Ahsoka had returned to Coruscant with Maul? Like, I assume you mean like with Maul in custody?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
before Order 66.
Yeah. So let's say the siege of Mandalore went a little bit quicker than it did. They're already on their way back to Coruscant. They land. They drop them off. This is where it changes. Order 66 happens while in transit. So for me, I think things would play a little different, maybe a little bit the same. Like, I feel like she would know about Order 66's but she wouldn't be at the temple or anything like that. She would probably see the smoke and whatnot rising.
And there were no clones with her on Mandalore, right? She was there by herself.
Well, I guess we could say maybe I've changed it a little bit. Maybe Order 66 happens. Maybe she was at the clone facility there, their main facility. So Order 66 happens there. She probably escapes the same exact way she would in The Wrong Jedi.
Yep.
And then her first instinct would probably be to contact Anakin, right? Like, who better?
You mean like after she escapes, after she gets back to Coruscant, or
yeah,
when she's still on Mandalore?
She's on Coruscant. So all this, she's on Coruscant. She delivers.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Okay, now I'm with you. She gets back before Order 66 happens. Sorry.
Yep, she gets back before Order 66. She drops Maul off. Order 66 happens there. She escapes the barracks the same exact way. Her first instinct would be to call Anakin. I'm sure he's not going to answer his phone because he's in the middle of slaughtering people.
Yep, a very dark series of personality changes. Yes.
Yeah. Or it could be at that moment before, because I guess it really depends on when Order 66 happens between them, because wasn't Obi-Wan killed with Order 66 before the March on the Jedi Temple? No, it happened at the same time.
Obi-Wan was... Yeah, it was all at the same time, but Obi-Wan was definitely delayed getting back because he was, Order 66, and he fell in the cave on Utapau.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so I was going to say, like, maybe she was able to
back before him or after him.
I would say she would go to Padme's apartment. She'd be on course. She would go to Padme's apartment. I guess just to see if Padme is okay, because Anakin's going to worry about Padme, about everything if something were to happen, because she might think this is a separatist attack.
Right. So she can't reach Anakin. She can't reach Obi-Wan. She can't reach. Who would she go to next? I feel like it would be like Master Plo Koon, or somebody.
It'd be Plo. She'd probably contact Plo. She'd try to contact her Jedi people before maybe going to Padme's apartment, where she would see the smoke and the towers of the Jedi Temple.
And then she'd probably go to the Jedi Temple.
She would definitely go to the Jedi Temple. She would see the massacre happening there. She might play it out where she's still not going to try to kill them.
If she sees the smoke from the temple, I don't know if she's going to get there in time. I mean, how long are they there before the smoke happens? And how long does it take them to completely wipe out the temple? Because if you're seeing smoke rising that high, then the damage has been happening for a while.
So she'd probably catch the tail end of it.
Yeah, maybe. And I feel like if she's going in, well, the clones wouldn't let her in. So unless she's gonna go all Yoda and Obi-Wan, just slaughtering the clones, which I don't think she would do because number one, she cares about them. Number two, she doesn't have. When they were doing that, they already had the background info of, hey, the clones killed hundreds of Jedi. Or at least the dozen main character Jedi that we care about a lot. And so I feel like there was a little less remorse there, just ending these to try and save the lives of other Jedi. But I don't think she would have that same emotional fortitude about killing clones yet.
No, I think it would take her a while.
I think they would still, especially if they were 501st, I feel like they'd be like, sorry, General, or whatever. Sorry, you're not gonna, or they would just start shooting her, right? Because like that's what Order 66 was. They would just start shooting at her.
Yeah, because they would recognize her as a former Jedi, especially the 501st.
Oh, she is a former Jedi. That's true. She's been out for a minute.
I mean, so they tried killing her.
Of the law. Yeah, they did. You're right. Yeah, she was kind of re-inducted back in, wasn't she? So yeah, all right. So they would start shooting her. So it really just depends on whether you think she would just deflect and get away, or would she just, because that's what I think she would do. But yeah, maybe if she had the fortitude to like punch through somehow and get into the temple, then maybe she could catch the tail end of it. But I feel like once she got in there and saw all the dead Jedi and all the dead younglings, which is awkward to say with this lightsaber right in front of me right here. Yeah, I don't know. I think she would just start trying to help or save or things. I don't think she would go looking for whatever's happening.
No. I was thinking, because if she happened to somehow make it, she might have a reason, excuse me, trying to have a reasoning with Anakin, but if distance and traveling, she would probably miss him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I feel like by the time she knew what was going on at the temple, unless she like went from the barracks straight to the temple, like without trying to contact anybody, without trying Padme's house, without any of that, like she could just like try and go to the temple and see what's happening, but then she might end up in a mess and even
she
just
might end
killed by like just like the rest of the other Jedi that had no idea what was happening.
Now, I guess we got to take Rex into this too, because like, would he try to find Anakin before, like around that time, or would he follow Ahsoka?
So remind me what happened. He was not affected by 66.
He was affected. He was trying to fight it. He couldn't. So Ahsoka basically had to knock him out and then remove the inhibitor chip. Because he's like, I don't want to, but I will have to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So would any of that have happened in this scenario? Like if they're back,
I feel like
with him when Order 66 happened.
Yeah, she was with him. Like, she went to go see what was taken. In this scenario, I feel like they would still be together. It wouldn't be like he would get the call to be moved away. He'd probably. Maybe he'd still have the call. He'd probably get the order. This is probably the same way, but maybe through a little handheld.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka might, because they're going to be stuck like glue together, Rex and Ahsoka.
Yeah,
because they're friends. So she's probably going to see him step away, or it could be like the other clones where they got their headsets on and hear Order 66 that way.
Yeah.
And then
so then I guess roughly the same thing happens, and she has to deal with Rex for a while before even
she
trying
might
to
have to deal with that.
contact. And if she is obviously like intensely curious about what's going on, then yeah, she would do the same thing. She'd remove the inhibitor chip, and but yeah, by the time she did all that, she would totally miss Anakin
I'm
at
kind
the
of.
temple.
There we go. Yeah, that was
You're
weird.
back? It didn't look like you went anywhere. You looked great.
Yeah, you froze on me for a second. I was like, oh no, there goes my computer.
Oh no, was it yours or was it mine? Okay,
I think it was mine.
All right, guess we can watch the feedback later. Okay, so what happens after that? In most likely scenario, she misses Anakin at the temple. She doesn't catch up to him.
Yeah.
So then does it just kind of roughly return to the normal, like what we know? Like they're separated.
I feel like she would be more involved with the Obi-Wan Yoda situation.
True.
And she might go with Obi-Wan to Mustafar.
Oh.
But instead of, having to be a stowaway, I think with it being Ahsoka, Padme would be a little bit more willing to be like, yeah, let's go take a look. He's not himself here lately.
Yeah.
Or something.
She knows that Ahsoka is Ahsoka's not the one who would get him in trouble for things. Obi-Wan, yes. Obi-Wan, you don't tell all the information to. He's too straight-laced and follows every rule to the letter. So yeah, you don't tell him. But Ahsoka, you could be like, Padme could be like, hey, just because I'm scared of what's potentially happening and I don't understand, just so you know, we married, and his baby is in me right now. So I'm worried about this, and I need you to help. I feel like she would trust Ahsoka in that way.
Yeah.
So you're right.
And
it
then
would be like the ramp opens, and he sees Padme and Ahsoka. So I don't know. How does that play out? Does Obi-Wan go away too, or is it just because Obi-Wan still is supposed to go, right? They're not going to just send Ahsoka.
Yeah, no, I think Obi-Wan will still go. I think he's going to stow away. Because let's say Obi-Wan tried to have that same conversation as in the movie, where it's like, tell me where he is. She's like, no. But this time, send Ahsoka in next. And then Padme's like, oh, yeah, he's here. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
And then, because
well,
those three have.
Ahsoka would sense Obi-Wan on the ship. You can't hide. So unless Ahsoka is trying to deceive Padme,
I think she would deceive. I think she would deceive her
in the interest of her own safety, of Padme's safety.
In the interest of hers. Excuse me. Good Lord.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like all of this is happening because of lies and deceit, and I don't think Ahsoka would want to be lying about things anymore. I think she'd be tired of the lies, tired of all the secrets, and tired of everything, and she wants everything out in the open. We're going to go save... Like, they don't know anything about... Oh, they do. They know that he was killing the younglings, right?
Yeah, because they saw the recordings of Anakin killing.
So they knew that they were potentially walking into a fight. Is there any chance that they would just send Ahsoka and then have Obi-Wan and Yoda go try and get Palpatine?
I don't know. I feel like it'd still be Obi-Wan and Ahsoka with Anakin because of their relationship. It'll take probably both of them to convince Anakin.
Yeah, and Yoda did say, like, Palpatine is too strong for Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
It's true.
And sure, Sith Lords is Obi-Wan's specialty, but 5 seconds into that match with
beat. Yeah,
yeah,
he gets his butt beat by every Sith Lord he's ever faced. He eventually wins, but he gets wrecked.
yeah, just the 5 seconds into that duel with Dooku on Revenge of the Sith, it's like thrown right into the guardrail, falls, and he's out cold.
Now, for that fight, though, I do think that there was some tomfoolery at play. I think there were some Sheevy shenanigans. I think Palpatine was there. So Palpatine's end game is to get Obi-Wan out of the picture and steal Anakin, right? So I think it's totally possible that Palpatine was messing with Obi-Wan's Force sense, like in the, he's clouding the minds of the Jedi this whole time.
That's true.
I think he's watching this fight in this room. He totally wants Obi-Wan out of the way, so he could totally be clouding Obi-Wan's sense of the Force in that fight, so that Obi-Wan has more of a disadvantage, and it will soon just be Anakin and Dooku. And then I don't know how he thinks he's going to convince Anakin to leave Obi-Wan behind, but like he pictured it as Anakin killing Dooku and then carrying Palpatine to safety. And Sheevy shenanigans. That's a hashtag now. We're doing that. That's a thing. My favorite Sheevy shenanigans that I didn't know about until I read this book was that the reason the Empire was so powerful, like the Imperial fleet was so powerful compared to every other fleet, is because Palpatine, this was in one of the Thrawn books, Palpatine was like controlling the minds of all his like brain dead Imperial officers, like through the Force. He was so powerful that he was like, it was like an army, but like it was like a chessboard where he could move all the pieces without like actually just giving orders and relying on them. He could actually like it was like the Imperial fleet, the Imperial Navy all had one mind in a sense. So he like it wasn't, that's why it splintered, because like why would the death of one person like splinter the whole Empire so quickly? Well, it's because they were all unified under this one like Force powered mind. They weren't aware of it, but he was. And so it was like that's how it's, yes, it is Legends, but I totally see how that could be a thing, like because I always wondered about it. Like after the first Death Star, they blew that up and they didn't, they were still the Empire. That was a big victory, but like all it was like, oh, this immediate threat is gone. So why on the second one you have Emperor and Vader gone, but why why did it make a big difference? So that's another one of my Sheevy shenanigans hashtags goes there. But yes, that is Legends. It's not canon. So I just like it, and I like to imagine that it's canon in my own head. Anyway, we got way off topic.
Yeah.
What were we
That's all right.
Okay. All they were going to so Obi-Wan and Ahsoka would probably be sent to convince Anakin.
Yeah. I still feel like a fight is going to break out regardless. Just because Anakin's at that point where it's like, if you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Yep. And they are
now
not with me anymore.
This just means Anakin's going to have to fight twice as hard.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you think he could take both of them?
I feel like he could. Because he's learned from Obi-Wan and he taught Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So he's kind of got an advantage in some way.
Yeah. He lost to Obi-Wan.
At the very end, yeah, he got a little, too big for his britches there at the end.
Yeah. There's just too many blades. I don't know. He has one lightsaber. She's got two. Obi-Wan's got one, and like the way they described it in the novelization is that in the novelization of the movie, which I guess is canon, episode 3 novel, the way they describe it is that it was like brother against brother. They each knew the moves of the other. It was like clash for clash, parry for parry, strike for strike. It was dead even for a while. Like, and in the beginning, they're not all up in the lava yet. So if you have a dead even fight, and then you introduce Ahsoka, who is way ahead of her age class in, oh god, way ahead of her age class in lightsaber combat, especially after studying with Anakin, I don't think he lasts. I think I don't necessarily think they are able to kill him, but I think he at some point, like, has to try to escape, has to try and get out, or I don't think he can take both of them yet in his power. He is not so far sunk into the dark side that it can completely like overpower. Like, he doesn't even know Padme is dead yet. He's still in transition.
Yeah. I mean, in this scenario, Padme is still, at home, worried sick.
Oh, she doesn't come with him? It's just Obi-Wan and Ahsoka?
Let's just say it's those two.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. Like, she's not even sick. She's just pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just home. So he's not even Vader yet, really. Like, the Vader we know. He's just like Anakin assuming. Like, yeah, I think. Now, is he redeemable? I don't know. He just killed a lot of younglings. And
right.
So I don't know about that.
This could also go in a different direction to where Padme doesn't trust any Jedi just because of what Anakin had said. Like the Jedi had turned, on the Chancellor. And that might even include Ahsoka, even though she's not part of the Jedi Order. But who can you trust these days? And she takes the Obi-Wan spot. The scenario still goes on, and it's like she's stowing away on Padme's ship.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Let's do that one. I think that might be a little bit more logical.
Yeah, I think even with two... Also, she just had a fight. Like, did she sleep? She
right?
just took Maul, and that was not an easy fight. Then she took all the clones and fixed Rex. That was not an easy fight. Did she get like a nice 8-hour nap before she's like... How long does it take to get to Mustafar?
It might take a while. I think it's more towards...
Yeah, that's true.
Towards the outer rim.
She's probably safe. But yeah, I don't know. Even with 2 lightsabers, I don't know if she can take Anakin. That doesn't seem... I don't know.
I feel like it'd be a little bit more talking and convincing than Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah, but have you ever argued with like a child? Because
I can't say I have.
If he's Anakin, he's like, I trained you. I'm not listening to you. You think you know, but you don't. You can't understand the complexities of what I'm dealing with, and he would be able to brush her off so easily. Like, in his own mind, not like actually logically or reasonably, but in his own mind, he would be able to brush off anything she says. So like, if Obi-Wan and Padme can't convince him, Ahsoka's not going to convince him.
Maybe, because think about it this way, because the last time they saw each other was just before the Battle of Mandalore, and that was the last time. He didn't know what happened to her, so this would be like a shock to be like, Ahsoka, I didn't really have time to think about you. This is kind of like a big shock to me. I'm so happy you're still alive.
It's almost like you weren't. It's almost like you weren't written yet when I was doing this. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't know if the shock value of his old apprentice being alive would be enough to overcome, number one, the irrational fear of his love dying in childbirth, and number two, the soul crushing weight of what he had just done at the Jedi Temple. That would be if I was a betting man, which I am in Kessel's box, my betting is that Ahsoka, while it's nice to see her, he would still not be able to convince him to not do what he's doing. I love this. This was amazing, but we do have another what if scenario to get to, and we have 10 minutes left in our.
That actually would segue. That was what you had said. Okay. Segue right into the next one.
So let's say, speaking. Oh yeah, actually, this comment does it perfectly. Ahsoka couldn't best her master in the world between worlds, so in the world between worlds or on Malachor. So the other scenario is, what if Ahsoka had died fighting Vader on Malachor in Star Wars Rebels? I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, I don't think much would have been different. Like, she wouldn't have been in the Mandalorian. And then I thought about that for a second, and my lightsaber says it's getting late. So she's in the Mandalorian, right? She because someone refers because who was it? Bo-Katan refers Mando and Grogu to her. She referred them to that world where he sat on the pedestal, where Grogu sat on the pedestal and called out into the universe and Luke and stuff. So, okay, this is unraveling as I say it. I was going to say, so if she hadn't told them to do that, then Luke wouldn't have come for Grogu and Mando. But also, if she hadn't told them to do that, they wouldn't have been on that planet at all, and he would still have the Razor Crest, maybe. So, as a person who loves Mando and his Razor Crest and his Amban late sniper rifle, I'm torn here. So what do you think? So she's gone. There's no Ahsoka. What's up next?
I feel without Ahsoka, we'd probably still have the Razor Crest, but the Mando and gang would probably be in some deep poodoo on the light cruiser of trying to capture. His name escapes me now. Why?
Moff Gideon?
Of all times. Yeah. I don't know why his name escapes me.
Okay.
I would have called him by his actor name.
I have to yeah, that too. I have to stop you there, because would they even be on the light cruiser if they hadn't been? Are you just assuming that like eventually they would have captured Grogu somehow?
Eventually they would have captured Grogu. Okay. They would have found Grogu at some point.
Okay.
It would have been on that planet. We probably wouldn't get the awesome team up with Boba Fett too. It'd probably just be Mando, Cara Dune, and maybe Carson. Maybe Carson Teva might show up at some point of like if they asked the Republic.
He really was not allowed to help.
True.
New Republic bureaucracy really, really got in the way there.
Because he couldn't really call on his Mandalorian brothers and sisters because he thought they were dead mostly when they went back to their old hideout.
Navarro,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not that new covert yet. Or at least they're not public about it. I mean, they weren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he might still have Boba Fett because Boba Fett wanted his armor back. So Boba Fett is trying to find him. So it's like, hey, we got a deal. If you help me keep this kid safe, we'll with your awesome thermal charges, whatever they are, seismic charges. If you help me do that, I'll give you your armor. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's fair to think that they would kidnap Grogu. They would successfully kidnap Grogu because Din's great, but like he's a kid and he's like gonna get in trouble, and they're not the sneakiest, I guess. He's kind of stumbling. He is the most plot armored character I've ever seen. And not just he has Beskar plot armor, and like in addition to his actual Beskar armor. So yeah, it's not out of the question. Like even if it wasn't on that planet, like Gideon is also a very intelligent villain. So he'd find ways to split him up and get him on the light cruiser. So
yeah.
So yeah, to your point, if Ahsoka's not there to introduce the idea of like calling out to the Force for Luke, then Luke doesn't know anything about Grogu, and then yeah, that's a lot of main characters dead on that.
I think Ezra's path would have changed too.
Oh yeah, that's because, a whole other thing.
Yeah, because he saved her before the collapse of the Malachor Temple, and then put her back out there at the same exact time. But I feel like having that conversation with her kind of opened up himself a little bit more of, about being a Jedi and like why, he's got to do certain things. So I feel like she's kind of a mentor to Ezra, and then also later on to being a mentor / master to Sabine.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
That's not going great. Could be better.
No. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I guess, man, Rebels is just a little rusty for me at the moment. So he did save her. And then did she guide him after that? Like what type of guidance did she give after that happened?
It was about letting go, I believe. It's like because he wanted to go ahead and take her.
He wanted to save Kanan too.
He wanted to save Kanan, yeah. So if without her, he would have jumped in there and got himself killed.
Yeah,
with Kanan.
Yeah, yep. We got them all killed, possibly.
Yeah, they've gotten everybody killed.
Yeah.
And his sacrifice wouldn't have meant much to the Phoenix Squadron.
Yeah.
Or that cell.
Yeah.
So.
And what last thoughts here? What do you think? What would much have been different in the events of the Ahsoka show? Because I was thinking about it, and I was like, this is where I was like, not a whole lot would have been different. Like, it's not like they stopped what they were trying to do to get Thrawn. Like she maybe took out a couple of players along the way, but he back, baby.
Yeah. I feel like not much. Well, I guess in a way things would have been different because without Ahsoka going to look for that coordinate orb, Thrawn would still be on Peridia.
Oh, I would think because she was the one who found it. I'm not gonna lie. I watched Ahsoka when it came out, and I haven't been back. That's on me.
I mean, maybe it might have been discovered later on, but maybe not.
So she was the one who found it?
Yeah, she found it in an old Dathomirian witch temple on
I see.
On a planet.
All right. And then what are their names? Shin Hati and what's his face? The awesome guy.
Baylan Skoll?
Yeah, Baylan Skoll. I love him so much. I'm sad they had to recast. I'm sad that the actor passed away, and Ray Stevenson, and that they had to recast him. But approve of their choice.
Mm-hmm.
So if she was the one that found it, I mean, maybe they would have found it eventually, but she might have even made it faster for them because they just took it from her. Got a couple comments here. Apologies, I gave no input. Fun listening. I cannot what if after stories have been told. I used to be like that. I don't like, for instance, I don't want a Star Wars what if show. I don't want that. It's fun in Marvel, and especially because they have a multiverse thing going on. But yeah, I don't want a what if Star Wars show. The Lego thing was plenty for me.
I'll agree.
And then checking the Imperial HoloNet Spotify channel. Star Wars Culture was there. Why not now? Is it not? Are we not on Spotify?
I think I got to add live.
I'm gonna check Star Wars Culture Live.
And we're only on episode 8 out of 25.
Yeah, Star Wars Culture. We will get there. We have a lot of people. Yeah, we're here. Here, I'll show you. There we are. But it's just
we're behind.
It's just that it takes. Yeah, we're just behind. It takes. We have a small crew here, and they're awesome and hugely dedicated. But it takes a lot of work to do podcast stuff on all these different platforms. When especially like a lot of the people working at Culture Slate do like multiple jobs for Culture Slate in addition to their own like full-time jobs. You know, like I'm technically an editor. I don't edit much anymore, but I'm still an editor and occasionally a writer for the website, and the same people who are doing audio work for us are doing audio work for other podcasts or video editors. Marty does video editing and graphic design for. Mostly graphic design.
I just do the graphic design, so everything for our show, for anything Culture Slate. I would say all of Culture Slate, but like a lot of the videos here recently, and then also for anything on these Star Wars Underworld network, any of those shows, those are mine.
Nice. Yeah. So we're just a little behind, but they'll get up there eventually. But we'll be here next week in the chat. Cool. See you then. Yeah. I think we got some good discussion in here. We could wrap this up. So that's our show. We hope you have. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, I forgot trivia, dude. I'm so sorry, dude. Trivia.
Dude, you're good. Imperial Academy, come back. Let's play some trivia.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's go.
All right, it is Ahsoka related because Ahsoka. That's what we were talking about. Yeah. Obviously.
Gotta be.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Andor when that comes. I'm not sure if I'm going to do 3 questions for 3 episodes. Probably not. Who knows? Anyway, the fiend line that attacked and failed to kill Ahsoka and her mother is called...
Oh, God.
Is it A, a Nexu, B, a Tuka, C, a Rakshir, or D, a Manka cat?
I want to say, so the only thing I'm confident here is that it's not A, because I know what a Nexu is, and I don't think they put the same animal in that episode. This is the episode where Ahsoka's a baby, right? It's in Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm confident about, like, I don't think I haven't seen it in a while, but I don't think they would have put the same type of cat unless they were doing fan service. Oh man, maybe they were doing fan service. I don't think they would have put the same exact type of cat in that episode. So I think it's either B, C, or D. So I'm just gonna take it's, you know what? If you don't know, you put C. That's what I always. Ooh, Adrian Berger in the chat. This is the creator of the Kessel Sabak app. Everybody, the developer, welcome. He's guessing B. I'm going to guess C because I was always taught on multiple choice. If you don't know, you put C. So I'm going to guess C. I am not confident at all. What do we got?
You got it right on a guess. It's that saber-toothed tiger looking creature. It's yellow with purple stripes.
So that was what the Imperial said too. Yeah, Yellow with
Yeah, it's also
stripes
called a
on it.
saber tooth.
Oh, nice. All right, so you got it. Okay, well, I want to see what this thing looks like. What's it called? Rat. How do you spell that? R-A.
Raxshir.
Oh, here we go. Go here. Stop with the donut ads. All right, this kind of deal.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's actually horrifying. He big.
Yeah, he big.
Good job, Mama Soka.
Mama Tano.
Yeah, Mama Tano. All right, now I can go ahead and do the show outro. Pretend you didn't hear what I said before. 1 for 1, perfect on freaking trivia, I guess. But that is the end of our show for this week. We hope you enjoy what we're doing here. We know Star Wars fandom and comment sections can sometimes get dark and toxic, but it does not have to be that way. We are trying to bring fun and positivity to the Star Wars side of the internet. Remember, there are more of us. So again, if you have anything for us at all, questions, requests, suggestions for segments, anything at all, throw them in the comments or DMs or anything, and we will see what we can do. Don't forget to follow us at SW Culture everywhere, and don't forget to follow us hosts everywhere too. I am at Nerdiest Stepdad almost everywhere, and he is at Marty21794 or Marty Ingleston III on Facebook. And so that is us. That's our show, and we will see you next week. May the Force. Oh, next week at 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. May the Force.